Footsteps echo on the painted crosswalk lines. Breath turns silver in the chilly neon light. Shop signs hum like quiet distant choirs. Taxis float by little comets in the night. City air is cold but my heart feels warm. Every traffic light is hanging like a star. Snow is falling soft between the horns, and I forget how far away we are. On this neon Snowfall Street tonight, colors falling with the Christmas white. Every billboard haloed by the glow, I see you smiling. Every flake of snow and the noise and the glow, you're my neon in the snow. Gloves and pockets, I'm just walking nowhere fast. Window mannequins and tinsel frozen pose. Somewhere carols driven from a basement jazz bar, blending with the rumble of the headlights shimmer like a moving mistletoe. Strangers brushing by in hurried overcoats. Yet in all these rushing city flows, I hear your name between the passing notes. On this neon Snowfall Street tonight, colors falling with the Christmas white. Billboard haloed by the glow, I see you smiling. Every flake of snow and the noise and the glow, you're my neon in the snow. If you were here, we'd trace our names on fogged up glass of the corner cafe. Laugh at the way that the stoplight rain looks like glitter slowly drifting away. I close my eyes at the crossings beep and feel you walking right beside my feet. On this neon Snowfall Street tonight, lonely doesn't have to feel like night. Every stranger shadow walking slow feels like angels keeping watch below. In the noise, in the glow, you're my neon in the snow. In the noise, in the glow, you're my neon in the snow. Taxi heater hums, my fingers start to thaw. City wearing tinsel, shining in its flaws. Window glass, a mirror soft and pale and blurred. Christmas on the radio, half remembered words. Tail lights stretching like a ruby-colored thread. Steam above the gutters, turning ghostly red. Someone on the corner hugs a paper bag. Someone on their phone lets a quiet laughter drag. I'm just passing through these painted, crowded nights, wrapped in taxi yellow, floating through the lights. Every turn we take feels gently out of time. like the streets are humming one long slanted rhyme. Taxi windows gleaming, passing silent nights. World outside is drifting under stringed up lights. Faces in the crosswalk, stories I don't know, move like shifting shadows through the fallen snow. In this little moving room of borrowed light, I'm alone but held by city arms tonight. Finger on the glass, I trace your crooked name, watching as it melts back into mist again. Somewhere you're beneath the same slow falling sky, counting city halos as the cabs go by. Taxi windows gleaming, passing silent night. Every blurred reflection feels a little bright. People that I'll never meet just fade from sight, but they share this softly humming Christmas ride. Through the glow, through the quiet traffic signs, I can feel your heartbeat echoing with mine. Crosswalk when a rush, everybody moves, boots against the rhythm, traffic light grooves, spread like little clouds in the city glow, hearts in motion even when the lights say no. Under Christmas banners strung above the street, every hurried heartbeat finds a hidden beat. Numbers on the signal counting down so fast, shopping bags are swinging, buses rumble past. Coffee in my mitten, cooling as I wait, listening to crosswalk beeps that imitate a fate. Someone bumps my shoulder, mumbles, sorry miss. For a second all this chaos feels like it could be bliss. Skyscrapers leaning over like a choir, snow stuck on the seams of every power wire. I catch your reflection in a passing car, then it's gone again, but it doesn't go that far. Crosswalk when a rush, everybody moves, boots against the rhythm, traffic light grooves, spread like little clouds in the city glow, hearts in motion even when Christmas banners strung above the street. Every hurried heartbeat finds a hidden beat. Taxi doors are slamming, cabs like yellow sleighs, carols from a doorway drift into the haze. Kids with blinking antlers tug their parents' hands, street musicians try and jingle bells with freezing fingers bend. I stand at the corner, caught between the flows, wondering if somewhere you still follow where I go. Signal flips to walk and still I linger, letting all the footsteps rush around my fear. In the crush of strangers, coats of red and green, I feel our little story threading through the scene. Crosswalk winter rush, everybody moves, boots against the rhythm, traffic light grooves, spread like little clouds in the city glow, hearts in motion even when the lights say no. Under Christmas banners strung above the street, every hurried heartbeat finds hidden beat. Maybe love's a moment at a blinking light where the whole wide city pauses, breathing wide. If I close my eyes and listen to the tone, every single beep is saying you're not walking alone. So I press my heel into the painted lines and step ahead like we're still side by side. A crosswalk winter rush, I am on my way, holding all the words we never got to say. Breath like little clouds in the city glow, hearts in motion even when we walk alone. Under Christmas banners, green and red above, this crowded intersection feels like winter love. Steam curls from the coffee, fogging window glass. Street lamps drip their gold on every car that passes. Neon from the sign swims in your silver spoon. Snowflakes chase the buses down the avenue. Inside this tiny cafe, time moves slow. Fingerprints in circles on the wooden globe. Outside there's a city made of steel and chrome, but in your hands I finally feel a home. Coffee cup reflections, Christmas in your eyes. Warm hands, cold city on a winter night. Traffic hums like distant sleigh bells far below, while we trade our stories in the candle glow. Let the rushing sidewalks blur into the light. We'll just keep our little corner warm tonight. Barista hangs a paper star above our heads. Radio plays softly, angels in their beds. Your scarf leaves a trail of melted shine and snow. You laugh about the year and how we made it through. Coffee cup reflections, Christmas in your eyes. Warm hands, cold city on a winter night. Taxi lights are floating past the frosted door, but I don't feel the winter like before. In the crowded skyline made of glass and signs, there is only you across this mug of wine. Maybe all the miracles are small like this, shared between the pauses poured in porcelain. If tomorrow pulls us back into the noise, I will hold this quiet like a chosen choice. Snow and sirens weaving through the streets outside. Here our tiny table is a fireside. Coffee cup reflections, holding back the dark. Warm hands, cold city softly beating hearts. Let the towers shimmer, let the street lights glow. We have found our shelter in the falling snow. If the night grows colder past the closing time, I will walk this sleepless city with your hand in mine. Snowflakes spin like static in the freezing air. Billboards bloom in color, shining everywhere. Models selling wishes in their party clothes, smiling through the whiteout where the north wind blows. Footsteps turn to slush along the painted lanes. Halos on the taillights blur like candy canes. I pull my collar higher, wind against my face. Neon wraps around me like a warm embrace. Every stormy gust just makes the city glow, like it's quietly insisting that I'm not alone. Billboards in a blizzard, lights through storm. Christmas on the rooftops trying to keep us warm. Screens above the crossroads flicker red and gold, writing little stories in the drifting cold. Even in the white noise of this frozen sky, your reflection follows in the corner of my eye. Letters on the signage ripple in the gale. Sale signs promise miracles in bright detail. Couples race for shelter, laughing through the snow. Taxi doors keep slamming in a steady glow. My umbrella shakes, but still I walk this street, chasing every memory where our shadows meet. Billboard changes scenes and suddenly I see two hands wrapped together like it once was we. I could almost swear that in the colored light, you were just beside me on this crowded night. Billboards in a blizzard, lights through storm. Christmas on the rooftops trying to keep us warm. Screens above the crossroads flicker red and gold, writing little stories in the drifting cold. Even in the white noise of this frozen sky, your reflection follows in the corner of my eye. Maybe all this shining is a kind of guide, lanterns for the moments we let pass us by. If I send a message in this howling dark, will it find its way to where you keep your heart? Snow is drawing curtains over every sign, but the glow still reaches out to touch my mind. Billboards in a blizzard, lights through storm, leading every lost heart somewhere safe and warm. I can feel you nearer with each passing glow, like a quiet beacon in the heavy snow. Through the swirl of winter and the city's roar, every light that finds me whispers, just hold on once more.
Bye.
wind slides down the glass of 30 stories high. Windows lit like candles in a patchwork sky. Somewhere on a rooftop, music starts to rise, soft as secret wishes underneath the lights. I walk this canyon made of metal, stone and chrome, but every echo feels like it is leading me home. Air between the towers hums a quiet tune, hanging silver Christmas over crescent moon. Skyscraper choir echo singing through the cold, voices between towers turning blue to gold. Every little window holds a different light, still they all fall softly on this winter night. In the rush and rumble far above the ground, I can hear our hearts inside the city sound. Office floors half empty, screens left glowing pale, tiny plastic wreaths asleep along the rails. Elevator chimes ring out a gentle scale, footsteps on the marble write a fragile tale. From an open hallway, someone softly sings, just a line of carol floating on the wind. For a fleeting moment as the chorus grows, I forget the distance, feel you close. Skyscraper choir echo singing through the cold, voices between towers turning blue to gold. Every little window holds a different light, still they all fall softly on this winter night. In the rush and rumble far above the ground, I can hear our hearts inside the city sound. Maybe every balcony, every fire escape keeps a tiny story glowing wide awake. Lonely stars above us, caught in urban glass, watch the winter evening slowly pouring past. If I lift my gaze between these frozen beams, I can almost hear you calling through the steam. Skyscraper choir echo ringing clear and high, voices between towers stitching up the sky. All the quiet offices and busy streets below join a hidden hymn that only we both know. In the neon snowfall, walking on my own, I can feel this crowded city singing you're not alone. overflowing, city wrapped in light, shoppers like a river in the Friday night, carols from a speaker tangled in the air. I'm a single heartbeat drifting everywhere. Billboards changing colors, glitter on the trees, breath turns into diamonds in the winter breeze. I check my phone again, the signal comes and goes. Your last text says I'm near but not which road. Then across the crosswalk like a tiny flare, someone steps in laughter with a red scarf in their hair. Red scarf in crowds and I find you there, like a little ribbon through the frosted air. All the city noise begins to disappear when that flash of crimson tells me you are near. In the blur of footsteps, neon cold night glare, I could lose the world and still find you there. Buskers on the corner, trying silent night, traffic horns responding, out of tune but bright. Children in their puffy coats, chasing bits of snow, street lights turning halos everywhere we go. I weave through the bodies just to reach your side, watching that red scarf flicker like a guide. You turn around smiling, cheeks a gentle rose, snowflakes in your lashes, city on your coat. I almost wanna laugh at how the whole street seems to fade into a postcard from our quiet dreams. Red scarf in crowds and I find you there, like a little ribbon through the frosted air. All the city noise begins to disappear when that flash of crimson tells me you are near. In the blur of footsteps, neon cold night glare, I could lose the world and still find you there. Maybe every Christmas in this restless town, we're just colored threads the winter weaves around. But you're the shade of warmth I recognize, even when the snow keeps covering my eyes. If I ever feel the distance start to grow, I'll look for that red echo in the snow. Red scarf in crowds close enough to touch, every little shiver doesn't hurt as much, holding on to you beneath the city lights. All the rushing footsteps turn to soft good nights in this sea of strangers, neon everywhere. I could lose myself and still find you there. Cold tiles underneath me echo every step. Platform painted yellow where the edges end. Distant train is humming somewhere down the line. Station lights are halos in a crooked spine. Timetables are glowing green and red above. I am standing still inside a swarm of gloves. Holiday announcement bits of carols hiding everywhere. In the rush of footsteps, coats and shopping bags, I tie one secret wish onto these metal tracks. Subway platform, wishes on a winter night, dreams on the line in the flickering light. Every painted number, every closing door feels like sending something to your heart once more. If the tunnels carry voices through the dark, maybe they can hold this tiny trembling spark. Posters on the columns, peeling at the seams. Snow melt on the ceiling, drips in silver streams. Buskers by the stairwell trying jazz and blues, wrap in silent night in subway colored hues. Screen above the entrance says the train is late. All this stolen waiting becomes our secret space. I imagine you across the city grid, under different stations, hearing what I did. Say me like chime at chime before the doors slide wide. Same slow shiver when the cold wind slips inside. Subway platform, wishes on a winter night, dreams on the line in the flickering light. Every painted number, every closing door feels like sending something to your heart once more. If the tunnels carry voices through the dark, maybe they can hold this tiny trembling spark. People come and go like pages in a book, faces blur together if I never look. But I close my eyes and let the train wind roar. Picture you just waiting at some future door, when the headlights blossom out of winter's throat. I breathe your name softly as the car doors float. Subway platform, wishes leaving with the train, dreams on the line running through your name. Every rumbling distance underneath the town feels like threads of silver tying us somehow. If we're oceans apart or only one stop wide, Christmas on the subway keeps us side by side. Nearly empty, just the vending glow. Schedule board is blinking, counting down to close. Late train rolls in softly with a metal sigh. Holly lights are hanging on the window line. Office coats and shopping bags, a drowsy crowd, quiet like a choir with the volume turned down. I step into the carriage, feel the heaters hum, find an open corner where the day comes undone. Outside in the darkness, city starts to fade, but the glass still holds a trace of all the lights we made. Late train, holly lights, last ride home. passing station, tinsel in the night, slipping by like memories outside and wide. If you're waiting somewhere past this final bend, I will save this gentle ride until we meet again. Garland round the handrail, just a paper chain. Someone hums a carol underneath their breath and name. Couples sharing earbuds, heads a little numb. One more sleepy worker with their mittens on. Tunnel walls reflect our faces, faint and thin, like a moving snow globe with the city sealed within. I rest my head against the shaking window frame, watching all the neon slowly drift away in lanes. In the streaking shadows on the platform signs, I can almost read your letters tracing into mine. Late train, holly lights, last ride home. Christmas in the silence of the rolling chrome. Every passing station, tinsel in the night, slipping by like memories outside and white. If you're waiting somewhere past this final bend, I will save this gentle ride until we meet again. Maybe all the magic isn't fireworks and choirs. Maybe it's the tired eyes and half-forgotten flyers. Maybe it's this carriage full of quiet hearts, riding through December just a few seats apart. If I close my eyes and listen to the rail, I can hear your answer in the echo of the trail. Late train, holly lights, last ride home, holding every moment that the day has sown. When the doors are opening on the freezing street, I will step into the night where you and Christmas meet. If the year was heavy, if the nights were long, this last ride home is humming us a softer song. Midnight corner bakery, sugar after midnight, Christmas in the window under leftover street light, crumbs on the counter, coffee in a paper cup. We're too wide awake to ever fully close this up. Snow outside is falling on the empty streets, but in here the night is warm and softly sweet. Sign says almost closing in a crooked hand, yet the bell above the door keeps ringing when it can. Barista wearing antlers, humming to the tunes, frosting on the cupcakes, shining like the moon. You shake snow from your hair, cheeks a gentle glow, boots untie the laces of the long, long snow. We grab the last two pastries, slightly out of line, share a wobbly table, plastic holly on the side. City's neon halo filters through the glass, turning every sugar grain to falling stars that pass. Midnight corner bakery, sugar after midnight, Christmas in the window under leftover street light, crumbs on the counter, coffee in a paper cup. We're too wide awake to ever fully close this up. Snow outside is falling on the empty streets, but in here the night is warm and softly sweet. Radio in the kitchen plays a jazz in pajamas, clutching gingerbread. Parents with their scarves half slipping from their heads. One tired taxi driver, hands around his tea, smiling at the carol sung a little off-key. You lean across the table, tracing in the steam, tiny sugared futures only we can dream. I lick icing from my thumb and start to laugh, thinking how this midnight feels like photographs. Midnight corner bakery, sugar after midnight, Christmas in the window under leftover streetlight, crumbs on the counter, coffee in a paper cup. We're too wide awake to ever fully close this up. Snow outside is falling on the empty streets, but in here the night is warm and softly sweet. Maybe all the joy we never had the time sneaks into these hours past the closing sign. Secondhand tinsel and a cinnamon roll carry more December than a silver bell patrol. If tomorrow pulls us back into the race, we'll remember frosting on your nose in this place. Midnight corner bakery, sugar after midnight, holding on to Christmas by the pastry light. When they stack the chairs and turn the music low, we will wrap our laughter in our coats and go into drifting snowfall out of yellow beams. But we'll keep this little sweetness in our dreams. Late night on the rooftop, 20 stories high, breath curls into ribbons underneath the sky. High-rise towers glimmer in their silver frames, windows full of strangers and their quiet flames. Somewhere far above the city's sleepless glass, tiny stars are peeking through the overpass. I lean against the railing, feel the winter air buzzing from the billboards, humming everywhere. All the glowing signage, all the mirrored chrome, make the little patch of heaven feel like home. Stars above high-rise, sky above glass, Christmas in the fragments that the clouds let pass. Every small reflection, every balcony light holds a piece of heaven for the city night. If you're looking up from some apartment floor, we might share the same small sky, you never know for sure. Office chairs abandoned in the floors below, copy rooms left humming soft and low. Curtains in the distance ripple like the sea. Someone pours a late night cup of tea. I can see your shadow on a distant pane, or maybe it's my wish calling out your name. When between the towers plays a gentle chord, wrapping all the high-rise in a single word. I don't have to hear it to believe it's true. Every quiet rooftop seems to whisper you. Stars above high-rise, sky above glass, Christmas in the fragments that the clouds let pass. Every small reflection, every balcony light holds a piece of heaven for the city night. If you're looking up from some apartment floor, we might share the same small sky. You never know for sure. Maybe all the angels don't have wings at all. Maybe they're the people answering a midnight call. Maybe they're the windows left a little bright, keeping watch for someone in the drifting night. If I send a prayer into this glowing haze, will it cross the rooftops, find your quiet gaze? Stars above high-rise, shining faint but real, sky above glass, teaching hearts to heal. Even if the darkness hides them from our eyes, I can feel their presence in the buzzing skies. If we're far and distant, living tower to tower, Christmas in the high-rise holds a gentle, steady power. Bus stop on the corner, breath a little white, schedule on the middle, almost out of night. Last bus rolling slowly through the glittered slush, headlights cutting halos in the midnight hush. I scroll through our messages, thumb against the glass, wonder if this Christmas is the one I let go past. People clutching paper bags and half-tight bows, rushing for the open door before it's closed. I stand frozen underneath the blinking sign, reading final service like a quiet, sacred line. Last bus to Christmas, don't miss this. Ticket to a moment we could almost miss. City wrapped in neon snow along the curb, heartbeats at the crosswalk louder than the birds. If you're waiting somewhere at the end of this, I don't wanna let this little miracle slip. Driver wears a Santa hat, a size too small. Tinsel round the mirror shakes with every stall. Seats in faded fabric, stories in the scenes. Late night office workers, kids with candy dreams. I tap my card and find a place beside the heat, watching all the traffic stars go sliding down the street. Through the fogged up window, towers glow and fade. Every stop we pass feels like a choice I've made. I rehearse the words I never said out loud as the bus keeps weaving through the sleepy crowd. Last bus to Christmas, don't miss this. Ticket to a moment we could almost miss. City wrapped in neon snow along the curb, heartbeats at the crosswalk louder than the birds. If you're waiting somewhere at the end of this, I don't wanna let this little miracle slip. myself next time. Let the days grow heavy, left the bells behind. But tonight the timetable's written clear and bright. One more chance is humming in this winter night. If I step off gently where your streetlights glow, will you meet me standing in the falling snow? Last bus to Christmas, I won't miss this. Riding toward the promise in the city mist. Windows full of colors, softly shining through all the roads I've taken, leading back to you. When the doors swing open on your quiet street, Christmas in the concrete finally feels complete. Last bus to Christmas, engine fading slow. We are here and somehow that is all I need to know. If tomorrow scares us or the nights stay long, we will hold this little ride like the start of a song.